also for everybody that's shown up and watching here. We're almost at 1,000 people watching here this morning, or well over 1,000 yesterday. Y'all are all awesome. Thanks for supporting Anu. I know I try to support him as much as possible. All the people who did the sponsorships as well. Y'all are awesome. I'm gonna check out some of the stuff. Spice Rack GG sounds awesome. Didn't even know that was a thing yet. So seeing that, maybe checking that out in between rounds here. But it looks like we're gonna be getting in at least one more game of Magic here from this match. Looks like we're gonna go over to the modern seat here and check out what's happening here. It looks like we're gonna be leading off with a Thought Seize from Rakdos Scam. It looks like it's gonna be a mirror match, Jeff.
I sure do love the Rakdos Scam mirror match. Honestly, it is pretty fun to watch. All jokes aside, I do not like playing against Rakdos Scam, but watching the mirror matches and how it's kind of like a one for one trading of resources a lot more than it is in non mirror matches. The it kind of plays out completely differently, and I enjoy watching it.
Absolutely. This can also have the kind of feeling of legacy to it where someone can do absolutely busted things on like turn one or two, where you like grief, undying evil, your grief or whatever, right? And you scam them, right? Like where you get the name from the deck, or whatever. Like you do the busted thing. Or you have games like this where like there's gonna be a thought seize, right? And there's gonna, be probably a Ragavan on turn one. They're gonna play back and forth a little bit here, and they're gonna play like an actual real game of magic, which you can have in this. So I think it's really cool. I think that was a grief off the top for Dane here as well. So Dane's hand's pretty powerful here.
It looks like Chris maybe was on a mulligan. I think I only see
Yeah,
four
I think so
cards.
too. Yeah,
Um,
looks like maybe a low mulligan. Yeah,
yeah. So if he's got four cards in his hand, that would is
yeah,
on the play. That would be one. So yeah, it looks like there's a mull to six from Chris. But yeah, this obviously it's gonna be a lot worse having to mulligan against this deck, or against in
yeah.
this matchup where you want to be trading resources pretty aggressively.
Yeah, this is going to be really backbreaking because Dane's going to get to do this twice. So his grief comes into play. He's going to be able to put it back into play here after the trigger resolves of it going away. So he's going to be able to take away the second card from Chris here. And this is an interesting point. Like, what do you take? Do you take the Fury? Or do you take the Fable here? Fable's a really powerful card. If he gets to turn three and plays it, like he can maybe get back into the game. But the thing is, like, the red card or whatever, if you leave Fury in his hand, he gets another red card on the top of your deck. You can maybe take care of your grief, but then Chris is out of cards at that point. So really interesting take from there. And he goes ahead and goes with the Fable.
Right. It's only bad if Chris's draws are Undying Evil plus red card, right? If you get Undying Evil plus red card, it feels really bad. But the Fable of the Mirror Breaker is more likely to ever be cast, and
Right.
also like that's going to be what digs Chris out of this bad spot. Um, this I was hoping this was going to go the other way because I was actually just getting ready to talk about how this matchup is this mirror match typically goes one of two ways. One, somebody gets scammed, which unfortunately is what happened. Uh,
Sure.
or we end up with a 20-minute game. And I kind of would have rather, even being the legacy person, I kind of would have rather seen a 20-minute game because we're not going to see a whole lot of modern today. Um, and I think that there's a lot that goes into this mirror match that may not be like obvious on the surface. Um, I do like what you were talking about before about like this deck feeling a lot like Legacy, where you're doing very powerful things. And I kind of like how modern his kind it got a reputation for Legacy Light, but it actually feels like Legacy just it feels exactly like Legacy, just without the staples that hold Legacy together, like Brainstorm and Force of Will, like those escape valves that you typically have to prevent the super busted things from happening.
Yeah, absolutely. And really good top deck there from Chris as well, because there was a dashed Ragavan coming in. Orcish Bowmaster not only picked it off, but puts two creatures into play for Chris here, which you can either do this, start to kind of try to race here, or you can start trying to trade for the grief as well. It does have menace if I remember correctly, so leaving one creature back is an interesting play here for Chris to see if it has anything to maybe kind of take this away. But Dane didn't know that was the only card Dane didn't know from Chris's hand because of the double grief in the turn before. And he's like, we're gonna have another scam here. Here comes Fury. He's gonna clean up everything. That's another way to put Fury back into play. And I don't know if Chris can come back from this spot. This has
Uh,
been quite the scam from Dane's side.
Chris is getting hard scammed right now, unfortunately. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, there's the handshake. That's unfortunate. Like I said, I would have liked to see a longer game, but some it's called Rakdos scam for a reason. Sometimes your opponent plays free spells that are supposed to be card disadvantage, but instead of being card disadvantage, just scams you out of the game.
And speaking of scam out of the game, that also scams him out of the match. With Dane winning that one, his legacy player was also triumphant in this match. So it looks like his team is going to move up to 8-2. Chris's team at 7-3. Their backs are against the wall. I'm not sure if an XN3 will make it. I haven't looked at the standings of how many teams that are left, but they're going to play out their rounds anyway, try to win from here on out, and then you leave it up to the tournament to see if you get to keep playing or not. Generally, what I say in these, people worry about their records. I'm like, man, just keep playing until they tell you to stop.
Yeah, that's usually how I would go into tournaments. I wouldn't pay attention to my record. I would just be like, okay, time to sit down, time to win this match. And it's even more the case in team matches or team tournaments because even if you don't win your match, you can still be useful to your team.
Mhm.
There are some times that you end up in a situation where you're just like, man, this is awful. This is unwinnable. Hey guys, I'm just gonna concede so I can come over here and help you with your matches. Um,
Yeah.
like just being able to reduce that variance that much, I think is one of the reasons why I love team tournaments so much. And
They're one of my favorite ways to play the game. I absolutely adore team tournaments because you get to share the highs with your teammates and they're so much better, and then the lows are actually not as low because you're there with your buds and playing. Whether you win the tournament, you do really well in the tournament, or you lose. You go 0-3. All of it's great.
yeah, the O3 go to the bar plan is a lot more fun when you have friends that have also O3'd at the exact same time you did.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it guarantees that you all leave at the same time too. If you travel together, you always have a buddy to go get food with, right? Because they're there all the same amount of rounds that you are. So it does sound like we're going to be moving to a break, and we'll be back with more Magic from Cincinnati.